All right, trying to figure out what to do now. What video should I make? Let's see. I've done manga collection, obviously. Manga haul at the end of the month, like always. Shonen Slip, hopefully the same thing. Kind of stumped for ideas right now. Only someone could help me out. Someone. I think I know what to do. Hey Sage, I'm calling because I was actually looking for some help. I'm doing a video for my channel. I'm gonna be asking people basically to recommend me things, so I was wondering if you could help out.
Of course. I got you.
Oh, great. I didn't think you'd actually do so. All right, well, basically just recommend me a series and I'll read the first volume, let's say, of it. So, should be some ideas.
How about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
I'm caught up with the anime. Probably not gonna read till part 6 is over, animated.
Okay, Dragon Ball Z.
My first ever anime was Dragon Ball. Also, it's Dragon Ball. Who hasn't read Dragon Ball?
Hmm. Black Clover?
I don't have it anymore, but I actually did used to own Black Clover. I should probably get back on that actually.
Okay. Parasite.
Seen it.
No, still? Naruto.
My first ever manga.
Naruto Shippuden.
I already played the Storm games and watched the anime to the end.
Boruto.
Nah.
Okay. I got one more. Reborn. Man, look, you've seen everything. I can't help you out.
Listen, man, it's not really that hard. It's just one series, and then I just read the first volume. Like, it's not that bad. Sage? Chase? He hung up on me. It happens. I should probably ask somebody else. Hey guys, welcome back. Even though you just saw an intro, shout out to Dark Sage, shout out to my guy. But welcome back to the channel and to it. Hopefully this video is being uploaded the day I want it to, my birthday, August 31st. Today is a very special video, a video I've been trying to work on forever. I believe I started preparations in the beginning of summer and we're already towards the end. Hence why I'm in a white shirt now, the black shirt in the intro. But yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this video. Of course, this is a collab video with various other creators, and basically they gave me a recommendation. Pretty simple. So there are 9 volumes of manga, 10 creators obviously because Sage. Every person is going to be in the description or iCard if I remember to do the iCard, and then timestamps you'll see if you want to know the name of the person or the channel, because there are multiple channels. They're going to be listed right there. I'm going to be dividing these up by the person who recommended them and then recommendations when I get my thoughts. So the rule was basically, hey, give me a recommendation and I'm only going to read the first volume and I'll go on from there. And I got a very good variety. I wasn't expecting the variety I got. Got some romance, got some action, shonen, and some heartfelt stuff. And well, I was very impressed with what I got. So yeah, without further ado, let me stop rambling on. Here are the creators. Shout out to them. Thank you so much. I'm going to say thank you to a lot of these people throughout this video because it really means a lot. I've been trying to work on this video forever. And I thought, hey, better to have it on my birthday instead of a manga haul. Without further ado, roll it on. Whoever is first, alphabetical order, obviously, with these recommendations. No particular order, just alphabetical order. So yeah, go on with the first person. Roll it. Sorry, I'm just happy that this video is being made.
Hello everyone, my name is HVL Manga, a fellow content creator here on YouTube, and I first want to say a huge thank you to Anthony for inviting me to join him on his channel to talk about and recommend a series not only to him, but also to his audience, so Anthony, thank you. So as I said previously, today I'm going to be talking about a manga series that I highly recommend that Anthony gives a shot, and also in turn that you guys watching this also read if you haven't read it already. This has been a series that I have raved about recently, that I highly enjoy, that I really think that a lot of people can really get into. So that manga series that I highly recommend, especially to you Anthony, is none other than Pluto by Urasawa and Osamu Tezuka. I don't know if you guys experience this at all, but, you know, as a manga reader and a content creator, I tend to consume a lot of series. I tend to read a lot of different manga, and Pluto is one of those series that I always knew that I wanted to give a shot, but just kind of like pushed it off to the side for no good reason why. Like, you read a lot of series, and some of them are okay, some of them are good, but this has been a series that, like, got me excited about the hobby again. You know, as crazy as that may seem. So Pluto follows the society where robots and humans live together. It's a very advanced society. However, there is a lot of tension between robots and humans. You know, humans despise the robots because they don't think that they should have rights. There's a lot of discrimination within the world that they live in. There's just a lot of disparity in this world. But Pluto follows are, I believe, 7 main robots, which are essentially the best of the best robots that there are. They're like super knowledgeable, they're super all these, like, they're just the best of the best robots. It follows them throughout the story, suddenly disappearing and suddenly essentially winding up getting killed. And it follows the mystery of why these robots are being killed, who's killing them, what's going on. There's also a lot of mystery about who our Pluto character is. Who is Pluto? What is Pluto? Why is Pluto? Just kind of uncovering the mystery throughout the entire read. Now, something that I really enjoyed about this is that it is exceedingly fast-paced from Volume 1. It stayed fast-paced throughout the entire story, but not too fast-paced, so you didn't know what was going on. It was just the pacing was superb. Overall, Pluto is just very high action, a lot of really good mystery. You get attached to our characters in their own special way, and it's just a really cool and interesting story. So Anthony, I really think this is something that you would enjoy and that you should read. It's very highly acclaimed for every good reason. I mean, you have 2 masters of manga working on this one read. So Anthony and others watching this, please read this if you haven't already. It's so good.
Hey, it's Kir.
And hey, it's Tommy. And thank you so much, Asian Mir, for having us on the channel.
We do a lot of manga hauls and manga shopping and stuff like that, but we don't really get to give a lot of recommendations on a typical basis. So we're really excited to be included in this video.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we're sitting here wondering whose manga recommendation is going to do better between the 2 of us. So
these are very different series, very different series, and very different tastes.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We'll see. I think mine's gonna be better.
I think mine's going to be better.
So,
but it's always funny giving manga recommendations because you always feel, I don't know, it's a little exciting, but it's also a little nerve-wracking because you're like, is this person going to like the series? Are they not going to like the series? If they hate it, like, it's on you. You feel a little bad. You're like, dang, I'm sorry for making you peep, but, like, who knows? But, I mean...
yeah, we'll have to see. But you go first.
Yeah, I think this may be a series Anthony hates. We'll see.
I hate the series.
We'll see. But mine is Fire Punch Volume 1. That is my recommendation. I think this series gets off to a pretty fast start. If I had to say what it's about, or like just a word, maybe it's a story about revenge, loosely. But yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, the reason why I'm not too sure if Anthony will like this series is just because of, I guess, just how strange it is. I think it's very interesting. But yeah, and as you know, it's by the same author as Chainsaw Man. I love Chainsaw Man, and I love pretty much all his other works. But Fire Punch is it's definitely his weirdest work, if I had to say so myself. But I think it's very enjoyable, very bingeable. So I think you might like this one.
We'll have to see.
We'll definitely have to see.
Completely different genre, different everything from that. As different as can be. I'm recommending Tomo-chan is a Girl. This is one of my favorite series. It's short. It's only 8 volumes, so it's not like too big of a commitment. And I like this one because it is a 4-koma. So that's where like each page is technically a chapter. And it's funny. It even like Tommy read the first chapter and laughed. So like I knew like we were on to a good start.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just a typical, like I would say, kind of like slice of life high school series or whatever. Obviously it's like a rom-com, and it's so funny. I absolutely love this. I've read this series I don't even know how many times, and definitely a staple in my collection as far as like series that I love. So I feel like you're gonna like this series if you give it a try. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's hope. It's the battle of these 2 different series, so hopefully you like them.
Hello, everybody.
everybody, we are
My Waifu
and Me, and my name is Jerry, and this is
Elissa,
and we run a Mangatube YouTube and Instagram channel called My Waifu and Me. And today we are going to recommend to our friend Asian Mayor Anthony two manga from to read, because we're a special channel in that there's not just one of us that is present on this channel, but instead two of us that are big manga readers and manga fans. So we actually got the opportunity to recommend two series. So Waifu, why don't you start us off? Tell us the series that you're recommending for him to read.
I am recommending Plunderer. So these are all 2-in-1s that are published by Yen Press. Plunderer is really fun. I've read 3 of these so far. I would consider it more seinen than shonen. And there's kind of some etchiness in there too. But what really surprised me was kind of this mystery that's going on that I didn't expect at all. So I thought that was the most entertaining part of what's going on with the story and what really hooked me. So it's definitely fast-paced, it's a lot of fun, and that's why I'm recommending it.
And I'm going to be recommending one of my favorite shonen manga of all time, which I'm really upset that he hasn't read yet, and that is obviously Shaman King Volume 1. Here is the original version that was published actually by Viz Media, but it's now being republished by Kodansha in these delicious 3-in-1 bricks that they have put together. So Volumes 1, 2, and 3, I believe that Anthony's just going to be reading the first actual volume, so just what's available in the original Volume 1. But if you want to get your hands on it, it's pretty easy to get your hands on now, but Shaman King is one of my favorite series, and it is about Yo, who is a shaman. He's able to communicate with ghosts, and he has to combat and fight through the Shaman King tournament in order to figure out and kind of deal with some of the interesting circumstances that the world has kind of thrust upon him as an individual. So that's our recommendations. We're really excited to be doing this collaboration, and we just hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the video. And honestly, if you're able to come over to our channel and you want to come check us out, please do so. We would love to have you, but also just thanks for having us over here. Peace.
Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is PromG. Welcome back to a brand new video on Asian Mayor's channel. Here I am today in this video for my segment talking about a manga series or a volume 1 that I would highly recommend. And the series that I've chosen to talk about today in this video is going to be none other than Shadow Lady. Now, this is the first out of 3 volumes, so a very short series, and I was told to only recommend like the first volume for the framing of this video, but it all works out because I've actually only read this first volume. But just based on what I've read, Shadow Lady has been a great read so far, and there's so many reasons why I think you guys should read this as well. This manga is basically about this sweet, innocent girl by day who turns into this devious, cunning thief at night when she turns into her alternate persona, Shadow Lady. But one day during the daytime, she ends up getting mugged, held by gunpoint basically by these 2 guys, and she's actually saved by this detective, and she instantly falls in love. But little does she know that this detective actually only came to town to arrest Shadow Lady. And the manga basically follows Shadow Lady as she tries to get this detective to fall for her, while also kind of hiding the fact that she is the person that he's basically setting out to arrest. It's very funny, very cute in just so many ways. Not to mention some absolutely fantastic artwork in this manga. It's very cleanly drawn. There's also a little bit of fan service here and there, which, you know, a person like me can definitely appreciate. And overall, this first volume was just very, very charming and a whole lot of fun to read. Thanks again to Asian Mayor for having me today on his channel in this video. Hopefully you guys will go check out Shadow Lady because it's a whole lot of fun. If you guys don't know where to find me, you can find me at ThePromG, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully I'll see you around.
Hello, I'm Tsukki Notes, and my recommendation for a volume 1 of a series is Skip and Loafer. I was trying to think of something that left a really strong impression on me from the first volume, and this is definitely a standout. Skip and Loafer is essentially about a girl from the countryside who moves to Tokyo, and it's just about her kind of finding her footing in this new environment, making friends, kind of realizing that she's a little bit different from all her other classmates. And while it is a slice of life, school life series, I think it's really good. The art is great, the characters are great, very endearing, lots of good scenarios and lessons in this one, and even though it's not a heavy action shonen series, I think you'll like this as a change of pace. Hopefully you do, and let me know what you think about it.
And those are all the creators. Thank you guys so much. Again, I'm going to be saying thank you a lot. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this video. It means a lot to me. These are people that, you know, they are known in the community as being really big, or at least bigger than me, really bigger than me, creators. And, well, it just shows you, like, how great the community is, honestly. It's great that we can all just come along and just talk to each other like normal. These are people that have, like, basically made friends with over like the last year or so. And it's very important to me that I, make this, and it's something we can share. Hopefully, if it goes well, I can try to do this like once a year. So maybe this will be like the birthday video, which would be cool, because at first I think a birthday video I wanted to do was top 10 mangas, but I'm like, it won't really change yearly. So yeah. But without further ado, we're going to be diving into what they recommended. But first, there are two creators that didn't send in videos because, well, time constraints, and I didn't want to rush them. Again, it is them using their time for me, so they didn't put in videos, but it's okay. So we're going to be talking about those first, and then heading on to the creators that you saw just before. First creator, you can follow her on Instagram, YouTube if she comes back. All the social medias, again, down below. It's Cazzy. Cazzy is a friend I made a couple months ago, and, well, she's great. She is someone who has a really, really big collection, and good for her. So, a man can dream. But, yeah, I was like, hey, do you want to be part of this? Because, we've been talking for months. And Cazzy was like, yeah, I'll do that for you. And so she recommended me To Your Eternity, Volume 1. So, Volume 1, To Your Eternity. There you go. You can take a look right there, featuring our main character. And yeah, To Your Eternity is a series that I wanted to watch the anime for. And after reading this, I still feel the same. I can see why people got upset, because I know a lot of people, the big thing about this series was, hey, episode 1 will make you cry. And I read that chapter, because I'm pretty sure the first chapter is just that, or maybe even the first 2 chapters might be the first episode. And yeah, it was very emotional, I will say the least, but like, that's the thing that I kind of prefer in animes at times. The emotional stuff, I like seeing animated. It's my thing where it's like, I see that it's sad, and it's probably why I haven't really cried to that many mangas, but it's like, hey, as someone who's like a drama kid, acting kid, it's like, hey, I really like the emotion actors can give to these characters. So I pretty much will probably wind up just watching this series when I can. Probably won't collect it. I've heard that later on it gets really bad or whatever. I've heard, so it's whatever to me. But I can see myself watching this. This was a good start to be like, hey, this is what it has to offer you, and it sets up the world, or like the concept of what your story is going to be pretty much from the beginning. It's like narrated and stuff, and if you know, you know. That's all I say. I don't want to give out spoilers, obviously, but it was a good first dive into the series, and we need to watch the show, because again, it's very emotional in the beginning. This first volume alone is very emotional with the 2 characters that you meet and what they have to go through. And well, yeah, the creator of A Silent Voice, so of course I was going to get emotional, because that movie made me emotional. And yeah, I will check out the anime. I won't be collecting these, sorry Cazzy, but you got me into it. Like, this was like the first thing I read from the pile, because I did it alphabetically, and I was like, yo, I kind of like this, and I'm going to, I'm gonna rock with it. I enjoyed it a lot. All right, you might have noticed the angle changed a bit. I didn't read everything at the time of the first recording. It's just a couple days later, but I read everything. There's 2 books. Obviously, you'll find out by the angle, because I'm pretty sure the angle looks different. But yeah, the second person that, they didn't submit a video, but it's fine, because again, I very much appreciate them even being a part of this, is Weeabruh. Weeabruh is, well, if there's one thing about Weeabruh, he loves what he suggested. If you follow him on Twitter and social media, the man loves him some of the piece that he gave me. But yeah, Weeabruh is amazing. Check out Weeabruh if you haven't. I'm pretty sure you have. The best editing in videos for a channel in the Mangatube space, in my opinion. Like top 3, not even 3, but you got it. But yeah, Weeabruh recommended a series that if you're very familiar with him, you can kind of guess what he got. And that would be Heaven's Door by Keiichi Koike, which is, well, again, I feel like this is his baby. No one really talks about this besides him, and he has said that many times on Twitter. And well, it's very interesting. This is actually the one I probably wanted to read the most, because the man just boasts about it all the time. And it looks very interesting. It's very like apocalyptic from the cover, and it is very intimidating for a manga reader, because you take a look at let's take like regular Shonen Jump, the sizing way different, as you can tell, and yeah, like look at that. So it is very intimidating to look at this when you see it at a store, because I got it at a Barnes and Noble, and well, don't be afraid. There's not really a lot of text in these. Heaven's Door is actually a collection of short stories, which is actually pretty cool. So again, more variety to the whole suggestion thing. And well, I will say most of it wasn't for me. Specifically, like the ending of Heaven's Door is like, it's not a part of it. It's technically like its own separate thing called Stereoscope, which I kind of find like meh. The thing with this is that you can read it at your own pace. It can fly by, or it can really drag depending on what story you're on. I would say the one that resonated with me, or at least like the one I liked the most, was probably Looper, which I believe is like chapter 6, which is just a boy being bullied, and he doesn't talk to anyone because, you know, he's bullied all the time in school, and he just makes friends with Turtle. He finds a turtle off the street, and yeah, something happens to a turtle. It's very sad, I'll say. And yeah, it goes from there. But there are it's a very different variety with Heaven's Door. If you take a look at the cover, I'll probably like have a close up right here. Well, yeah, close up right there. It seems like a very apocalyptic, but you can tell like there's different things going on in it, and that represents like each of the chapters. I also honestly thought that it was just gonna be the explosion and what leads to explosion. I thought it was gonna be like a whole one story thing, but no, it's a collection of short stories, which I very much do appreciate. It's good to read like every chapter is just something pretty much brand new. Heaven's Door is an acquired taste, and I'm pretty sure Weeabruh will probably say the same thing, because you get something different out of every chapter, but it's bonkers, I'll say at the least. You have like the explosion in the beginning for the first chapter, and then for some reason they're robots, and then you have like a classroom full of children who look messed up, and that one dragged forever. I will say I felt like that was probably the longest chapter. And then you have like the last 3 chapters, I'll probably say like are kind of loosely tied together. They flow by really fast because it's technically one story about just a guy going back home on a plane, going back to his family and having hallucinations and stuff like that. There's, I believe, second chapter is a whole tale of like in Manhattan about just a guy getting high, and yeah, it's very trippy. And so yeah, I will say though, Heaven's Door, when it comes to all of the stuff I've read from this collection of suggestions, Heaven's Door is the most appealing. It has the most things to look at, because you can literally look and dart your eyes all over in some of these pages, because they are gorgeous, and the page quality is really good. You'll have a ball just looking at the first page alone, and there's like a slide in cover, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't want to show stuff because, you know, YouTube, you don't know copyright. Props to Weeabruh for recommending me something very out of the box, but it wasn't nothing bad at all. Stuff wasn't for me, so I will say, but there are things I can say like, hey, I do enjoy the plane stuff at the end, and then Looper was really good. Looper's like the one that I just remember the name of. That's it. But yeah, that's Heaven's Door, and yeah, check it out if you haven't, or if not, just go to Weeabruh's social media and then you'll see it, because, you know, it's Weeabruh. All right, starting with the videos, HVL Manga. Shout out to HVL Manga. That's the homie. I feel like I've talked to her for over a year now. I don't know if it's been that long, but yeah, I just said, hey, like one time I just followed her because like she was one of the first creators from Mangatube that I was just watching her stuff, and I was like, I'm very intrigued. And yeah, like I just hit her up on Instagram and we just started talking. And so then it's just, hey, casual conversations. We just talk about stuff that goes through our stories. And yeah, very, very happy that like she was very open to me. I would think like, hey, like if, again, like any community, females, it's like, hey, it's kind of tricky because guys can be weird. But you know, nothing with that happened. It was just, hey, she's overall cool and great, and she can list her opinions, and like, yeah, have long conversations. We have short conversations. It's really nice to talk to HVL, honestly. And she recommended a series that actually I already had, which was Pluto. Behind the Fist of the North Star, I have the rest of Pluto. So basically, she did me a favor, and instead of recommending me a series that I need to go get, she was like, hey, you have this already, so read it. So yeah, and I was very, very happy that I can finally read this. It took me a recommendation to basically read it, but hey, I have it all now. The story follows a crime scene of a robot getting murdered, and it was a very strong robot, which was very weird. And a lot of people were like, that's very weird because he was designed for war, I believe. And basically, 7 robots are going to be hunted down. You meet 4 or 5, I believe. Yeah, by the end of the first volume, you meet 5 of the robots, I believe, if they still stick with the concept of 7. You meet 5 of the robots that are being targeted, and well, you feel for some of these. Especially, I forget what his name, something number 2, the second robot, the third robot you meet, because technically the first one's already dead. Spoilers. But yeah, most of the volume follows our main character right here. He is a detective and a robot. It goes through his day finding out about the crime scene, and yeah, eventually he finds out like, hey, we're being targeted. Very interesting. My first anime, I believe, or I've been told, has either been Dragon Ball or the original Astro Boy. Like, my grandfather put it on. I'm pretty sure I've told the story before, but yeah. Those two have a special connection to me, so I knew Pluto was something I was going to read eventually, because a lot of people like this series. As a matter of fact, I believe Urasawa, his like main two works, 20th Century Boys, and then this, and then Monster. It's like those are the main three that you want to look out for. A lot of people who've read this say like, hey, this is his best one. So Astro Boy, recommendations from like basically the public, because a lot of people are like, hey, this is like the best his work. And I fell into peer pressure. Not really, because I knew I was going to get this eventually, and they've been just sitting on my shelf forever. And yeah, really pleasant read. It's got the thing going for it that the first Fist of the North Star has, where it's like some orange pages that are colored. And honestly, it's my first Urasawa work, so I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like I did watch Monster, the anime, but it's been forever, so I kind of don't really count that as my first, even though it is. But this is my first dive into his manga, at least, and well, I was fairly enjoyed, and I have the rest. So I will be reading these as probably like 2 a month, maybe, if I can keep up with it, and just finish it off, because it's only 8 volumes, which is really good. If you want a show recommendation, this is probably going to be it, honestly, because I believe everything else is either ongoing or like very long. Besides one that I've mentioned already, the Weeabruh one. But yeah, very much enjoy Pluto. We'll continue to read Pluto, and thank you, HVL, for the recommendation, even though I already had it. Alright, couples time. Kir and Tommy. We're gonna go with Kir first because it's Kir and Tommy. And Kir recommended me Tomo-chan is a Girl, which is a 4-koma manga. Like I said, there's a lot of variety here. We had like an emotional story piece with To Your Eternity that is supernatural. Then you have like futuristic with Pluto. Now Tomo-chan is a Girl is just pretty much basically, so think like these the girl boy series, they gotta have like a genre name, but with this one it's like, hey, she's trying to get noticed by her crush that like thinks she's a boy at times, even though clearly like into it you find out like he knows that she's a girl. Like he's very hard-headed. The main character, I will say, I didn't like the main male character. Tomo-chan, she's great, honestly. She was the highlight. And her friend, I forget her name. It's like Suzuka or something. I forget. Flash it over here. But she was great too, honestly. I enjoyed the female main characters here, honestly. I don't know what it was, but it was just like, hey, there's a lot of mangas where they don't know how to write females, and it's coming from a male creator. I don't know if the creator is a female, but it just felt like, hey, like these are everyday girls you would find at like your high school, because it is set in high school. So yeah, it is a 4-koma, so these are shown in 4 slots, 4 panels, and that's every story. If you go on like Mal or something, it's not listed as like this is like an 8 chapter, I believe. The way it's 8 chapters in the book, but it's like, hey, like it's like over 100 and something chapters, because 4-koma is a chapter each page. This is getting anime, I believe, in January. I think it is. It was announced literally like a couple days after she recommended it to me. I was like, oh, this is getting anime. That's crazy, and she was excited for it. And yeah, I think I will also watch the anime, because I won't lie, it was fun, but the fact that each chapter is a story in itself means that some of the each chapter is a story in itself. Each chapter is a story in itself. Each chapter is a page. Could mean like, hey, these get very lengthy at times. Some of the chapters just text everywhere, which is like, I don't like when I read something and it's like, hey, it's very text heavy, so like you're stuck on a page at a time. That's like a big issue I had with Jujutsu at first. At first it's like, hey, like they're explaining everything, especially where I'm reading right now. They're explaining a lot. So text stuff isn't my thing, but I believe this will probably do better as an anime, even though it is 4-koma. I don't see myself collecting this, but I do see myself catching it in January, I believe. Don't kill me. It's probably up here that I corrected myself if it is in January. But yeah, if I didn't correct myself, it's not there. So haha, I remembered. Good memory, I guess. I pretty much will read this when I can, and if I haven't, by the time the anime comes out, I'm gonna watch the anime. Very much did enjoy it, and yeah, can't say that about Tommy though. Thomas. recommended me a work that you would think I'd like, because Chainsaw Man, if you've seen my top 10 video, is like top 3 of my favorite mangas. So you would think, hey, I would like this. I didn't like Look Back. I thought it was okay. I thought it needed more for Look Back. I haven't read Goodbye Eri. Fujimoto's first like main known work is Fire Punch, and I've never read it. I've always been curious about it because it's like, hey, it looks pretty cool, and I read it from Tommy. It sucks. Okay, let me not harper down that it sucks, because it does suck. But the thing is that it has a lot of like trigger warnings. There's a lot of things where, hey, if you are not into incest, murder, rape, all the bad things, you don't want to read this. The first 5 pages alone, in the first 5 pages, it's cannibalism, and it's like, like it makes sense for the story, and yeah, cool, but it felt very weird, because it's like, hey, these kids are cutting off their arms to give to people to eat, because it's like, hey, we have to survive. And yeah, it was very creepy. It's very much a WTF in his works. It is completed 8 volumes, just like Pluto. So this is a short read. I will probably read these on the Viz app, or not the Viz app. I'll read it online through Viz, because I have the Shonen Jump app. And if you have the Shonen Jump app and you are a member, you can read Viz stuff on their website for free as long as you log on. Sucks because their app for some reason doesn't let you do that, which is weird. I found that very weird because I downloaded the app. I'm like, hey, you can log in as your Shonen Jump account, but you can't read anything on there. It's like, hey, you have to buy everything, which sucks because I know this, Dandadan, stuff like that you can read on the website, but you can't read it on the app, which I find very weird. It'll take me a while to like get back to this. I'm sorry, Tommy, but it was probably like, I'm gonna be honest, probably the worst thing I got recommended, which sucks because I love Fujimoto and Chainsaw Man, and this is it felt very wrong to read at times. That's how I can put it. The art style, for some reason, does feel really good towards the beginning. Characters feel bolded and like they feel like, hey, like they actually are like drawn really well. For some reason, the quality fades and dips at times. Like, I guess, yeah, it's like his first like published work, so like he'll get better as he goes on. But it's like, hey, like some of this stuff feels weird, like looking at, because it's just like, you're not really drawn that well. If you're a Fujimoto fan, read it, I guess. If you're not into the trigger warnings that I just said, skip this. It's not really for you. And I heard it gets very political later on. I've heard that, and you get a sense for it in the beginning. So, I don't know if I'm gonna read this. Like I said, if I read it, it's gonna be on the Viz app. I'm not gonna force myself to buy these because it's something that I didn't enjoy at the beginning. And then the fourth wall break. There's a fourth wall break here, like in the last chapter, that felt very, very like, why are we doing this? I realized like a lot of things. By the way, new Shonen Slump coming soon, where I talk about Ayashimon, that has a fourth wall break towards the end. It's very weird. A lot of people just like to do fourth wall breaks, and I don't get it at times. It's like, like cool. It's like, you're being funny, but it's like, like the whole thing is like, yeah, this is being drawn by this person, or this is being directed by this person. It's like, that's the fourth wall break where I was like, all right, you're kind of doing too much, and that's what Fujimoto does here at the end with the last chapter. Tommy, why? Could have recommended me something so much better. You guys have like a library in your room, so yeah. But thank you for the recommendation. Maybe I'll finish it soon, but yeah, it's not gonna be on my collection for sure. It's probably just an online read at this point. Next couple, My Waifu and Me. We're gonna start off with Jerry, because spoilers, or not really spoilers, it's a little behind the scenes. I haven't read Plunderer yet at the time of recording. I haven't read Weeabruh's Heaven's Door either. Those are being spliced in, so if you notice, hey, the angle looks different, that's why it looks different, because I haven't read those two yet. Those are the only two I haven't read yet. But I have read this. I have read Shaman King. Shaman King is, well, it's a shonen. It's a shonen, all right, and it centers around Shaman, this kid who comes to Tokyo because he wants to become a shaman. He's training, and yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what Shaman King's first volume gives you. It gives you some insight on some figures back then, like Amida Maru, I believe is the name of the samurai that he becomes partners with. And like you got like a bunch of like, hey, these are people from the past. Are they actual figures? Who knows? Maybe they are loosely tied to figures, which is like, it's cool. and it's a basic shonen. I can't really say much from the first volume. It probably gets better. I will say two things though. This feels very Western. The way things are drawn, I'll probably put some stuff on the screen if I can get away with it. Some things drawn are very exaggerated and feel very cartoony. For manga and anime, it's very new for me. It didn't feel very manga centric. It was very like, hey, here's wacky faces and wacky reactions. The main character, Monta, the main human character, normal character at least, is very much a reaction piece. He reacts to everything very exaggeratedly. And it's like, it's like, I get it. It's pretty cool. I like it. I enjoy it. But at the point, it's like, okay, you're doing too much at times. It felt very drawn, like you could probably say like, hey, this is like, if you gave this to somebody and they had no recollection of manga or no idea of manga at all, you could be like, hey, read this, and they're like, oh, it's a comic. Besides the way it's positioned, because manga obviously, it feels very comic like because of the way it's drawn. It's very cartoony, which I did enjoy. The other thing I did enjoy was system going for Shaman King. The idea of grabbing a soul of a ghost and using it for a battle or using it for anything at all, because Yo uses it for like school studies, for, you know, because there's ghosts all over the world and stuff, so he uses it for pretty much anything. It was a pretty cool concept. It's a cool concept to grab onto, and honestly, I enjoyed that. That was probably the thing that really kept me going with this. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. You can grab any ghost and make a contract with them, and, you know, you can inhabit their essence and their powers or whatever. And it was pretty enjoyable. I do enjoy that part of Shaman King and the Western part of it, because it felt very cartoony. While I continue picking these up, I don't know if you could tell, but it's very busted. Let me tell you, it's still got the sticker on it right there, and it's very busted and it's yellowed out. I would like to get a new copy if I do wind up getting these. And then I've heard the singles aren't finished their run, like they got cut off, so like the only way to collect it fully is through the omnibuses, which Jerry showed you, and I don't like the way the omnibuses look. I do like the spines, I will say that, but I feel like those aren't things you read. Those very much feel like a collector's piece, so I feel like if I'm going to read it, it's either going to be online, or I want to know what anime I should pick up, because there are two versions of the anime. Currently one on Netflix that hasn't finished yet, which I'm pretty sure is going to go through the entire story. Think of like Hunter x Hunter, like the 2011, it's being redone and stuff. And then the original, which I don't know. Also, the way African Americans or Africans are depicted in this, the big lip thing that was done back in the early 2000s because Japan didn't know better, it really hasn't aged well. Because the main character that is African American in the story, or African in the story, hasn't shown up yet, but there have been there's a retelling of like what shamans are about, and there are Africans used in the telling, and they have the lips and everything. It's like, it's not really tasteful. I wonder if they cut that part particularly out in the omnibuses. I'm pretty sure they have, because in the new anime, I believe, he doesn't have any lips that symbolize, hey, this is racism. I will check out Shaman King. But yeah, Jerry probably got to ask him like, hey, what do you prefer, the Netflix series or the original? I'll probably say original, but yeah, maybe one day I'll read this, or probably has like a way of like, hey, you should watch this, then go to the Netflix series, and then probably read the rest here. We'll see how my Shaman King journey goes. I've always wanted to read it, so thank you, Jerry, for recommending it to me. And yeah, I'll continue it sometime. I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything that stood out besides what I mentioned, but it was still good. And so with that, I'll probably get onto this later on when it comes to the stuff that I've read here. And so yeah, I'll check this later on. All right, and Elissa from My Waifu and Me recommended Plunderer, which I showed. Obviously, you can see the English changes again. Maybe it hasn't, maybe it looks different. I feel like it looks different from before when I recorded the first time. But yeah, recommended Plunderer. This was the last thing I read. And honestly, I will keep reading these, and I will keep getting these, but it's probably not because of the story. It's probably because of the mangaka himself. So the creator of Plunderer is Suminazuki, which is a very interesting name that's brought up, because I feel like he, or she, I forget, I think it is a he. I only know him for his other work. I'm not going to say what it is. Just know it's on the shelf somewhere, peeking, and it's my favorite anime of all time. And so yeah, that is kind of in this, the comedy with like the action-y parts, because Sue does know how to draw, I will say, action really well, and Plunderer is pretty much you get a lot of good looking action, and the whole jokey, comedy, ecchi bits, it's there. If you've seen his previous work, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it took me a while. I would say it took me a while to realize it, because some of the characters are drawn very similar to his previous works, and especially the main male character, how he transitions to a regular looking anime dude to like a chibi form, reminded me of a certain main character. And immediately I was like, hold up, I need to search up who this person is, because I have a sneaking suspicion. And yeah, it was the same exact person. I will be picking these up. Thank you, Elissa, because I did enjoy it. It is very daunting, because again, it's like Heaven's Door, where it is very thick. It's a thick boy, I will say that. And this is the only version available in the US, apart to like Shaman King, which Shaman King does have an omnibus, but I chose the first volume because, you know, the first volume is easily available. If you want to go look for it, even though it's not officially in stores, you can easily buy volume 1 of Shaman King just like on eBay and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure I did on eBay. I would order it on eBay or Mercari. I'm pretty sure if it was eBay though. But, you know, third-party site, go ahead, you can find Shaman King volume 1 single. I know it's harder to find it because I explained it, but yeah. Plunderer, you get the thick boys, and the thing that sucks is that I'm collecting Prison School, which is also made by Yen Press and made in the similar fashion of the thick boys, so a lot of space is going to go towards those. I do plan on collecting these all the way because I have a special attachment to the mangaka, but they're like $22 a volume, which sucks. And so I'm probably going to be very, very strict on myself and only get Plunderer on sale. The comic shop I frequent in New York City had a special sale, and I think volume 9 was a part of it, so I ordered that. And then I also ordered the last person that I'll be talking about their things. If you saw, you know, Tsukki, her thing, you know, I ordered some volumes there, and I'll explain why I ordered them on that site, because I didn't realize that was hard to find, because a lot of those volumes are out of stock, which sucks. But yeah, Plunder, I'll be giving this a shot. I will say, okay, let me talk about actual Plunderer stuff. I enjoy the system of the world. It is a thing where it's like, hey, you are given a number at birth, and that number coincides with a certain action or a certain thing that is special to you, and it goes up and down corresponding to what happens with that subject. The higher your number is, the better you have basically control over anyone under your number. So you get very much examples of people who are like in like the double digits, to like someone who's like in triple digits, to like people who are even in the negatives, which is crazy. And then, you know, you got people who are over that. And so yeah, it gets really crazy. I do like the aspect of that itself. Like, hey, it's a battle of numbers, which is really cool. It's not really a math thing. It's just, hey, like, if my number is bigger than you, then, you know, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic Gathering, you know, card system. I have a bigger power, then cool. I control you. And like you see in like the first chapter alone, this girl basically saying like, hey, do this, 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 and because of the person having a lower number than her, they do it exactly. And it's very interesting to see. And they can also give up their points in a duel, basically. It's called a star stake, I believe, where you just battle each other and you just, you know, winner gets as many points as they want, and taken away from the other person, add it to theirs, and it makes them stronger, which is, I like the concept. I will say Plunder has a really good concept, which is really good, which, you know, probably will leave you wondering like, hey, like how high do these numbers go, which that's probably like the main question I had at the end. How high did these numbers go? And so yeah. And then I will say, Elissa probably knows because she's read this, but the ending of the volume is probably, out of the entire pile, the craziest thing I've ever seen, because it made no sense, but it got me intrigued. I will say that did get me intrigued. I was like, all right, I need to know what is going on with this. So I will be picking these up more. Again, it is also part of like, hey, I like the mangaka's previous work, but there's a lot in Plunderer that you can like. Also, if you're into like ecchi stuff, it's very tongue-in-cheek, I will say. It's not on your face all the time like other series, like a regular ecchi series. And that's what I like about Su's stuff. He can be ecchi when he wants to, but he doesn't really choose to like make it the main focus. It's just in there because, you know, he likes to joke around and there's a bunch of gags and he likes to gag around. Plunderer, I do recommend it. Don't be very confused with like, oh, this is really big, and then you see like, oh, 300 pages. They fly by really easily. They really do. And I pretty much just enjoyed what it was and was very interested in to see what happens next with, you know, the thing in the sky. That's all I say. and then when you get revealed what the thing in the sky is, yeah, very interested. Elissa, thank you so much for recommending this. I'm interested to see how this story goes. We'll be getting these, but at a discount, because I am not going to be wasting my time getting these for $22 each, because, you know, don't pay for manga full price. Alright, next up is PromG. PromG recommended the only thing that I don't have physical right now because it's not hard to find, it's just very expensive. I'm not paying $30 for a volume. But I will say I did enjoy Shadow Lady. Shadow Lady is about just a female who's very shy. She's very, you know, very introverted, but she has a power where she can just put on like makeup and stuff, and she becomes Shadow Lady, which is just a crime fighting or a thief, essentially, just through the night, known thief, being tracked down by the cops, and you know, the basic thief stuff. It's basic thief stuff, but I did enjoy it. It was very charming. I will say the joke of this is there is a male detective that comes into town, Honda, I believe, Honda something or something Honda, and he is a very handsome individual. The way he's drawn is like, hey, like this dude's cute, this dude good looking, you want him, Amy, you want him, Shadow Lady. But the thing is that he is so self-centered on catching Shadow Lady that's all he cares about. And our female main character likes him, falls for him, but is like, hey, I have to find out how to like get him to like me, but not Shadow Lady me, just regular me. So yeah, and basically it follows that trope. I believe like the last half of the volume itself, I read the first 8 chapters, I believe 7 to 8 chapters. I read the first of, and it's pretty much like, hey, basically every day going out doing different crime and then getting caught by him and like interfering, blah blah blah, and then at the end people fall into a bath. Yeah, that's a very weird trope. You can tell though this is very, very old because of the tropes. It's very like degrading at times, which kind of sucks because it's like, but it's like, hey, it's back in the day, like what do you expect? But I will say the main thing that I really enjoyed, even though I read it digitally, was the art. The art stands out really well. The shading in some of the stuff, even though I read it digitally, and just the expressions in themselves, and just the way everyone is detailed in drawings, it stands out, I will say. And then the comedy bits too, how they make it drawn really funny. I do enjoy that, and that's the thing I enjoy a lot about hand-drawn stuff. Opposed to like, I know a lot of people are doing like computerized drawings, or even like, you know, Oku does CG, whatever that is. But, you know, it's very hand-drawn. You can tell the moment you open it and crack, even the first like cover of itself that Prom showed, it's very like, hey, you can tell this is just drawn and it's very old, and I very much enjoyed it. The creator has made like different spin-offs too. Like I read his Mal. It's technically an alternative to like another character, which is very interesting, I will say at the least. And so yeah, Prom, thank you for the recommendation. I will check out Shadow Lady, either finishing it digitally or just finding a deal on eBay where all 3 of the volumes are just, you know, they're up for grabs, and it's pretty good, reasonable price. So yeah. And to the last creator that you saw in video form, or you know, her style, it's Tsukki Notes. Love me Tsukki Notes. She's great. Talked to her for almost a year as well, I believe. Someone who I can talk to about anything pretty much whenever we conversate. I check up on her. She, you know, it's all great. We become really nice friends, and I enjoy her content, and I just enjoy her personality. She overall is a great person, and shout out to you, Tsukki. You mean a lot to the community, and you mean a lot to me because you're just a great person. You're just a great person. So yeah, what can I say? She recommended Skip and Loafer. This does have an anime coming out, and I will say I will be watching the anime, and I will be collecting these. I was thoroughly surprised at how much I enjoyed this on itself. Like, well, by alone, like I'm not into like romance or like shoujo stuff. I don't know what you would classify this as. Slice of life, pretty much. Yeah, slice of life. I'm not really into reading much slice of life, but this was a very nice change of pace that I very much enjoyed. I enjoyed what this had to bring, and the comedy bits are very monotone, but they hit very well. Similar to like Kimi no Tsudoke with that main character. It's very monotone in its comedy, but I like it. It's very wholesome. Like I was telling her about it, like when I read it, because I showed her I was reading it. It has a charm to it. It knows what it is, and I like it. That's the reason why I probably gravitated so much to it. The only problem is that it's out of stock pretty much everywhere. I'm gonna have to like scour for the remaining volumes until they get restocked. I believe I found volume 4 somewhere, so I'll probably order that there. Very much if you want a slice of life, I can't recommend this enough. It's really good for what the first volume has to give to you, and it basically breaks the norm for a bunch of like stereotypes. Like, hey, the pretty girl can talk to normal people too. The awkward girl can make friends. The main character is a class prep, but hey, like since she is so out of touch because she comes from the countryside, she can adapt and like, hey, it's very normal. It isn't a thing where like the main character she is shy, I will say that, but it's not to a point where it's like, hey, she's backing away from everything. It's like, no, she wants to like give people her contact information. She wants to go out and join clubs. She wants to do all this stuff. She wants to hang out. And it's really nice. It's very enjoyable. And then it has a format for the first volume where she talks to her friend from the countryside after every day. I believe like 3 days pass in this volume alone. And it's very nice. It's like, hey, it's a quick catch up, which, you know, a lot of people, if you like go to university or stuff like that, you're far away with friends, you catch up on them every once in a while at the beginning. Like, hey, you call them every day, and it's like really nice. So yeah, I very much enjoy skipping Loafer, and I will continue to read these, and then when the anime comes out, I'm watching the anime. So yeah, thank you, Tsukki. Very much enjoyed this. Very good. And yeah, basically hooked on this. This is probably like the one that I have from the collection of this video where I'm like, I need to get more of these. So yeah. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video has been something I've been working on forever. It's just taken time to like read and like, you know, communicate and stuff like that. But I very much appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all the creators that were a part of this video. It goes to show you that the Mangatuber community, or the manga community, at least in YouTube, is really just like a really good community. I had conversations with these people like every now and then, to like frequent conversations about manga, anime, and even anything like personal at times. And so yeah, like it's really just great to see that this community is really nice, and I enjoy it, and it feels very welcoming. If you should take anything from this video, is that the Mangatubing community, really great, really nice people, a lot of different takes, a lot of different tastes and stuff, and you know, it's really good. Nothing really bad about it, unless you're like Tommy and Fire Punch. But yeah, besides that, pretty much, hey, like, thank you guys all, even you, Tommy, and just joking with you. Thank you all for recommending me stuff. I very much appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Thank you to Sage for the intro bit, because that skit took me back to my acting stuff, which, you know, I love when I can do skits like that. Maybe I can do more skits for stuff like that, which would be really cool. But yeah, if you like what you liked here, subscribe, comment, like, all that stuff, and then follow all the creators that are a part of this video. Link in the description, iCard, wherever the iCard is in the square, you know, or outside the square, you know, because YouTube is different. So yeah, just do everything that YouTube tells you to do, because, you know, YouTube changes by the time you're watching this video. Stuff has changed. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys when I see you. I blurred out, sorry.